Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a good day. We're taking a look, of course, here at Bitcoin, helping understand what's going to happen next. And obviously, if you're new to the channel, I've just been trading for a very long time, 17 years now, and I learned a thing or two over the years. And I'd like to pass that on to you, impart you with that knowledge. So if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a website. Link in the description below. Hope to help you out there and look forward to working with you. Also, keep in mind too, I have a prize pool of $10,000 at least monthly or bi-monthly, 1 or 2 times a month through Bitget, where they allow for me to be able to provide a prize pool to my traders that use the link in the description below to register. So make sure you use that, and obviously start using Bitget. Phenomenal exchange, best exchange I've ever used. Extremely fast, low in fees, and there's just a lot of leverage options too. So be sure to check that out in your own time. So anyways, back to Bitcoin. Here's kind of what we're looking at here. We've got I guess some decent things forming, but also generally disadvantageous. So let me explain what I mean by that. And for those of you who don't like it when there's contradictory things, you may want to turn this off, because that's how cryptocurrency or just trading is in general, right? You kind of try to get an understanding of what works best in which direction. Okay, so process of elimination, etc. However you look at it, there is some conflicting information here today. Basically, science telling us it wants to go up, but also those that are telling us it's going to go down. Okay, so please understand that. That being said, though, taking a look at the daily, this is tentatively a positive. Of course, it's a little too premature with that most recent pump here, but generally speaking, we are looking like we have this is essentially considered a hammer up, this candlestick here, and you can kind of see it resembles a hammer, right? This would be a hammer down here, and then of course, we've got another hammer up right here. Okay, so, or inverted hammer, however you look at it. I say hammer up because it just makes a lot more sense, because this, when this candlewick comes all the way down and closes higher than the actual previous open, and it's a bullish engulfing, those are 2 positive signs. So that we got a double positive here in this sense. So if we get a closure today about 19,150 or higher, that's going to be a strong chance for us to see some green this weekend. Okay. Now there's no guarantees on that, of course, because weekends are very odd. So I honestly don't know what will happen, because weekends have a tendency of being, lower volume and strange volatility. That's all there is to it. So something to think about. So that's a positive there. Let's take a look quickly here at the simple moving averages and get this pulled up here for you. And just recognize the obvious. We're underneath the 50 and the 20-day simple moving average. Until we're above that, we are considered to be, essentially bearish. Okay, so you want to kind of remember that. Even if we break above, just say for example we broke above for half a trading day here, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay and hold. Okay, so the 50-day SMA is a very strong indication of a resistance level in Bitcoin's history. Okay, so pay attention to that. A closure above that would be fantastic. So we're looking for at 19,600 or higher to be able to get that, that quote unquote bullish, tentative bullish increase or direction, however you want to look at it. Okay, so again, mostly positive there in that sense, but still also very bearish. We can also see here that we are looking at 50 on the RSI being a pretty strong resistance level. It has been a resistance almost the entire month of October. Okay, so last 2, almost 3 weeks, we've seen that get rejected, whereas the price action's had some very difficult times getting above 20,000 or 19,600. So essentially, we got a strong resistance channel between 19,600 and 20,000. And then, of course, we got a strong support channel between 18,800 and 19,000. So we're kind of squeezed in this little range here. So hypothetically, the price should come up and reject out at 19,006, right? That's generally the concept. So I'm not saying you want to take a long 2 there, but generally speaking, today's candlestick is looking more, it's foreshadowing more positivity than negativity. All right. Also, if we take a look at the moving average convergence divergence, it's kind of drawing dead. Again, as I mentioned before, if there's not a lot of volume, or correction, volatility rather, you're going to see that. And what I think I saw what was it? In one of my feeds, it did show that, what was it? Volatility. Here we are. So if you take a look here, Bitcoin versus US equities and volatility, look at that. It's matching NASDAQ in volatility. That's absolutely terrible, because Bitcoin is supposed to be known for its volatility, right? But we've had, while it is volatile in a sense with these candle wicks, it's matching NASDAQ right now, which is crazy, because NASDAQ averages only 1 or 2% up or down per day. So that kind of gives you perspective there on where Bitcoin's at. But generally speaking, it's one of those just unique circumstances that we're in right now. Okay. So, and another reason why too, I had to remind my community members that, hey, yes, we haven't had a signal this week. This is very standard and normal stuff when Bitcoin is deciding on, like the fate of all altcoins right now rests on Bitcoin's shoulders. Okay, if Bitcoin has another bad day, everything else is going to struggle, and you want to be very cautious and careful because Bitcoin is stuck between 19,000 and 19,600. It's a very tight range. It's a really strange thing. So if you're going to be trading, make sure you have tight profit targets and maybe loose stop losses, because these little wicks here will absolutely get you bit. So just something to remember. All right, so looking at here at the 4 hour, what we want to understand is a handful of things. First of all, we are making lower lows, if you technically kind of want to look at it that way, and we are making lower highs, right? So generally speaking, we're not in a position right now where a push to the upside, it seems extremely likely. It does seem more likely that the price wants to come down. So even though the daily looks, I guess you could say, slightly better than average, the 4 hour doesn't look great as far as the lower lows and lower highs are concerned. Okay, let's take a look at RSI as well. Strong rejection off 50 once more. Big surprise. We've been stuck under 50 on the RSI for the last 3 days straight. Okay, and that's of course this bearish divergence here. So generally speaking, that's kind of where we're at here for the moment. Not fantastic, but you do see a convergence here forming on the MACD. So this does kind of contradict the simple fact that we are bearish in that regard in the 4 hour. Whereas this hasn't happened yet, but it is foreshadowing and kind of telling us that we could have a convergence to the upside where the price action might continue higher. Okay, so again, conflicting information, right? Same thing here with the simple moving averages. They're all rejecting out at the same place. So until we can get it back up above those, we can expect them to hold the price action down. Okay, so the 4 hour does look like it wants to continue further downside. All right, that's pretty much what it's kind of telling us here for the moment. What does the hourly tell us here? Well, if we look at daily sequential previously, we did recently hit a 9 and we're seeing that bounce back. Okay, so we want to wait to see if this continuation can come up here and break 19,300. If it can, just so we get a closure above 19.3 today, I think that'd be a very positive sign going into the weekend. But of course, buying into a 2 on TD sequential, so to speak, isn't always advantageous. What I mean by that is the price action may get rejected out here soon, and if it does, then we're going to be stuck in a long position. So I would hesitate and wait for confirmation. And I know I get a lot of frustration from not just community members, but people online saying that why do you wait for confirmation so much? Why do you just sit there on the sidelines? Well, that can be sometimes some of the best calls you can make in trading. Okay, sitting on the sidelines and waiting and watching is probably to me, it's one of the better qualities, I would say. Again, everyone has different strategies. If you're a day trader, obviously you're going to miss a lot of opportunities. But as a swing trader-ish, I more so waver between day trading and swing trading. And I would say that I've found great benefit in waiting for confirmation. What confirmation is understanding which direction you're heading and knowing that you're on the right side of the tracks. Right now, we have obvious confirmation that the price action is continuing lower. Right, you can see this lower high getting rejected by the lower lead on the cloud. Okay, as soon as the price travels into the cloud, it gets rejected every single time. We also have the conversion line below the baseline telling us that we still have downtrend potential, and the lagging span is soon to intersect with the price action. So in essence, it is telling us that we want to trim our position if you have a short position open, and that a long position might be viable if we break above the cloud here. So again, in another 6 to 12 hours, if the price action is naturally above the cloud, then a long position seems to make more sense. Okay, so again, a lot of different things that we can think about here, but generally speaking, there's more likelihood, I would say, in the overall sense here that we're going to see a little bit more upside than we would downside, but that's only if we get confirmation, A, above the cloud, and B, above specific resistances such as 50 on the RSI on the 4 hour. That to me is a pretty big indicator. We keep getting rejected there, and until we break back above, that would be a sign right there to kind of, I would say, wait. Okay, so to me, I feel comfortable opening a long position at the end of today's trading day if we have a closure above 19,150, preferably 19,300. And that's what I'm looking for. Because again, if we get a close above 19,300, we'd be making a higher high, right? And quite likely a higher low as well. So those are things that are extremely important to look for, patterns that you can kind of identify to help you kind of get somewhat of an edge, if you will. Because again, it's not an exact science. You got to realize that even I make a lot of mistakes. It's just that the mistakes that I make are a little less crazy because of the fact that I don't over leverage and use too large of a position size. And again, that's a strategy for the bear market that I like to employ. Our community is doing quite well with that. Yes, we have some positions right now that are going to get us paid very well if Bitcoin decides it wants to have a good day again. But until then, we can survive to trade another day because we're not stuck and we didn't put all of our eggs into one basket. Okay? Just one egg at a time. That's all there is to it. It's just really simple. Again, these are all things that I have in place in my trading community. So once again, CryptoCache.tech is a website. Link down below if you want to join. And just make sure you join up with my Bitget link though, so you can be constantly available to, attend this prize pool. It's pretty much easy money. All you need to do is have a decent profit and loss ratio and/or a decent amount of volume. You take a look here. Some of these folks here are going to take 1,500, 1,000, 500 right there, just those top three. Same thing with trading volume as well. If you have a trading volume over 4 million, then you're automatically put in a prize pool of 4,000. See, it's split between 4 people, each person gets 1,000. So it's a really awesome little situation here. I love the way that Bitget organizes things. These competitions are fantastic because to me, it doesn't promote you to overtrade, because I think that's something that I like to try to teach, that overtrading is a problem. But on the same accord, it promotes you to kind of have this competitiveness and this benefit that really lasts a lot longer and kind of gets you that that help in the long run. At least to me, I think that would have been a fantastic option when I was a newer trader. Either way, I look forward to working with you. If you want to go ahead and give me, if you have any questions, concerns, comment down below. Oh, also one last thing, quick favor, if you could please follow me on social media. I'm trying to build that up. I'm a little late to the game, honestly, because I'm just not a social media guy. But I'm trying to get the word out there and try to spread all the good stuff and get the best practice and all those things out there. Okay, so be sure to check that out in your own time. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one.